So AB 1092. AB 1092 is the bill that they're looking to extend the amount of time you get to have your CCW permit before you renew. Currently, it's 2 years in California. AB 1092 was looking to extend that to 4 years. Unfortunately, it didn't make it out of its first committee. Now, that doesn't officially mean it's completely dead, but it's going to be extremely difficult for this thing to get legs again, which is unfortunate. There's no reason to believe that extending a CCW from 2 years to 4 years would compromise public safety, but it would definitely benefit efficiency. It would definitely save money and be a lot more convenient for gun owners. But that's not what Sacramento's about.
Yeah, for anyone who thinks it makes sense to have more frequent renewals, I totally understand why you might have that opinion. But a couple of points that I want to make. One is that the law is already changing more frequently than every other year. So currently the renewal is every 2 years, but you're not using that renewal class to learn everything about all the law changes related to firearms and concealing a gun in California, because the law changes more frequently than that. So it's already not a one-stop shop to get all the most up-to-date information. If you are thinking about, oh, well, it makes sense that they have to come back to a class and learn about the updates. Again, the updates are not, they're not all happening on the date of the class. The updates have been happening throughout that 2-year period. The next thing is think about the challenge it is for folks to actually renew. So it's not as simple as just, showing up and taking a class. You have to apply for the renewal. If you moved, you have to have, a bunch of documentation that shows your new address. Then you have to go sit in an 8-hour class, probably on a weekend. And for folks who work on the weekends, that can be really, really challenging to make fit in your schedule. But aside from all that, you're also paying the sheriff's department, again, for the renewal, and you're paying the instructor for the 8-hour class. So this is basically just taking folks' money repeatedly over and over and over throughout the entire life of their CCW. So those are kind of the two main reasons that I have for why I wouldn't support, or why I don't support renewals being so frequent. Personally, I actually don't think you should have to renew. I think as long as you live in that county, you should, as long as you are updating your address every time you move, you should be able to have a CCW permit for the rest of your life. There shouldn't be any sort of formal government process to keep that up to date.
Yeah, and a lot of people that would ask the question, well, gee, how do we know if they're still law abiding? How do we know if they're not renewing every 2 years? How do we know that this person is still obeying the law? Sheriff Martinez from San Diego, who's somebody who was endorsed by San Diego County gun owners, and we helped her get elected, and she's done a fantastic job with the CCW process, actually produced a report that's up on the website. And we're going to link to the to the website so you can read the whole thing for yourself. But one of the things that she says in her statement is, because she was very supportive of going from 2 to 4 years, and she says that despite an extended renewal period, the responsibility of the permit holder to be law-abiding would remain. Extending the term of the CCW is a common sense approach that will not compromise public safety because the sheriff's office receives arrest and law enforcement contact notification for licensed CCW holders. Basically, CCW holders are under constant
critique or observation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're a CCW holder and you break the law, then local law enforcement immediately gets notified, and you could lose your license. And that happens fairly often. I should say it doesn't happen fairly often because CCW holders really don't commit much crime, but the folks who do commit crime, they lose their license quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's not just true here in San Diego. It's true pretty much throughout California. There's a lot going on with CCWs. CRPA is suing the LA County Sheriff's Department for purposely delaying their permits. Basically, it's taken a year, 2 years to get a permit in LA because they don't care. The LA County Sheriff doesn't want you to have your CCW, so why would they put any resources? The LA County Board of Supervisors doesn't want you to have your CCW, so why would they put any resources? So they're suing, and that's a fantastic lawsuit. Then above and beyond that, the Civil Rights Division of the Trump administration is actually going after not just LA, but they said they were going after the entire state for violating people's Second Amendment rights, which, thanks to Heller back in 2008, the Heller decision, it has been affirmed that the Second Amendment is absolutely a civil right. And I've long said that, hey, we have got to treat this thing the same way that we treated other civil rights issues. You know, what they are and have done to gun owners in California is no different than what they did, with Jim Crow laws in the South. You know, it is just as much a civil right. It's certainly not a second-class right. Her statement talks about the huge improvements that have been made to the CCW system in San Diego. She also emphasizes that it's not enough, and she wants to continue to improve it. But let me give you a couple of highlights. And again, we're going to put this link up so that you can read it. And then if you're a member of San Diego County Gun Owners, if you're getting our email, you're going to get this sent out via email. So some of the takeaways: Sheriff Martinez is committed to issuing CCWs and improving wait times. Active CCW permits in San Diego have increased from 8,919 when she took office, so 8,919, to 25,892. And if you do the math, that's somewhere around 450 a month that are being issued. There are 4,200 permits in the pipeline. That's about half. After the Bruin decision came out, there was a huge flurry of interest in CCWs, and the pipeline was about twice that. She's brought it down to 4,200. CCW holders can apply for a renewal 60 days prior to their expiration. She emphasizes that in the report. And of course, like we said before, she is supportive of extending CCWs from 2 years to 4 years. But one of the things I really want to point out in here is that if you read the report, she's not satisfied with where we're at. It's about an 8 months, just under an 8 month wait time from application to receiving your permit right now, which it was twice that not too long ago.
Yeah.
But we're looking to get it down about 90 days. And if you look at other counties, that will fall in line with, it's very possible. One of the big bottlenecks is, and she points this out, that California DOJ, your CCW application has to make a stop at California DOJ. So if we don't have any control over that, and the legislature is the only one that could put more resources into that. So we think reasonably about the fastest the CCW can get turned around because of the slowdowns in California DOJ. It's probably about 90 days. Maybe a little bit quicker, but on average, we're hoping to get San Diego's CCW permitting process from application to issuance, as long as the applicant doesn't delay it, we're looking to get it down to an average of 90 days, which I think would be amazing.
Yeah, no, I think 90 days is a great goal. I think, obviously, if it were possible to have a same day turnaround, that would be amazing, right? We all want to be able to go to the sheriff's department and walk out with a CCW, but unfortunately, that's not going to be a reality in California, at least not anytime soon. So I think 90 days is a great goal to start with. The one thing that I want to mention, because we're talking about renewals, is that there are already CCW permits in San Diego County that are good for more than 2 years, right? I think there's like a judicial permit and something else. So it's like some people already have this privilege. We're just trying to make it the same for everybody.
That's right. Some people are a little bit more equal than others, aren't they?
Apparently so.
Yes, I would love to be able to extend that to everybody. But like you said, even further. 4 years would be great, but other states have it extended much longer.
I think my Utah permit, if I'm not mistaken, is every 5 years, maybe every 7. Yeah. I've only renewed it once, and I've had that for a long time. So,
well, there you go. Hey, thanks for watching Gun Owners Radio. I hope you loved that clip. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social media. And check out our website at gunownersradio.com.